Good day everyone. Today I'm going to discuss to you about the one of the conic section in pre-calculus, which is the parabola. I will discuss about the equation, its properties, and some example of each problem. But first, let us define parabola. Parabola is a set of points in a plane that is equidistant from a fixed point, which is called the focus, and a fixed line called the directrix. And we can see in the diagram that we have a point along the parabola, which is the P, who has coordinates x, y, and has a line through the vertex and through the focus. We name the focus Q and the point along the directrix point O, so that we can conclude via the definition of the parabola that PQ is equal to line PO. Next, let us identify the parts of the parabola. First, we have the vertex. The vertex is sometimes the lowest or the highest points in the parabola. Next is the focus. Focus can be found inside the parabola, and it is a units away from the vertex. And next, the line outside the parabola, which is named the directrix. This is perpendicular to the axis of symmetry of the parabola, and this is also a units away from the vertex. And next is the axis of symmetry. It divides the parabola into two congruent parts. And next is the latus rectum. This is perpendicular to the point focus, and it's also 4 times the value of A units away from each other. But how can we know if the parabola opens upward, downward, rightward, or leftward? The first property of the parabola is when the graph is opens upward. Mangyayari lang to kapag yung part ng x is naka-squared and the value of 4a is positive. And then next, we will going to the focus. The focus is above the vertex, so we add a units to the value of y coordinate of the vertex to get the coordinate of it. And then next is the directrix. In this, we will subtract a units to the value of y coordinates to get the equation, which is y is equal to h minus a. And then next is the axis of symmetry. The equation of it is x equals h. And a latus rectum, which is h plus a to a, comma k plus a. The next is when the parabola opens downward. With the x part, this is squared, and the value of 4a is negative. And here's the formula in finding the focus. The focus now is under the vertex. Therefore, we will minus a units to the value of y coordinates. So we could get h comma k minus a. And for the directrix, we will add a units because it is above the vertex. So we could get y is equal to k plus a. And then next is the axis of symmetry. It is still the same as k is equal to h. And last, the end point of the latus rectum will be h plus minus the value of 2a, comma, the value of k minus the value of a. The third one is the parabola opens rightward. This will happen when the y part is 1 with the squared, and the value of 4a is positive. And the focus will be changed because we will add a units to the x coordinate naman and become h plus a comma k. And then the directrix will be x is equal to h minus a. And then the axis of symmetry will be y is equal to k. As you can see, the changes, we will use y than the x because it will become horizontal. And then the end point of the latus rectum will be h plus a, comma, k plus minus the value of 2a. And then last to the property of the parabola is when the parabola opens leftward. This will happen when the y part is squared and the value of 4a is negative. And the focus will be in the coordinate h minus a, comma, k. As you can see, we minus a units to the value of x. And then the directrix will be x is equal to h plus a. So we add a units to the value of h. And then next is the axis of symmetry at y is equal to k. And then last is the end of the latus rectum is at h minus a, comma, k plus a to the value of 2a. Then after knowing the properties, let's try some example. The first one is find the vertex, focus, directrix, and the axis of symmetry given the equation of the parabola. Quantity x minus 1, quantity square, is equal to 16 multiplied to y minus 3. First, let us identify the opening of the parabola. Una, titingnan natin yung part na may square. And in this equation, that part is the x part. And after that, titingnan naman natin yung value ng 4a, kung positive or negative. In here, we have the value of positive 4a. And then, we have a combo of x squared and a positive 4a. Therefore, it is opens upward. After that, let's find the value of the vertex. And the vertex is denoted as h, k. Yung h is yung katabi ng x and yung k is yung katabi ng y. And we will going to exchange the sign. In this equation, the value ng katabi ng x is negative 1 and we will going to exchange it will become 1. And yung katabi ng y is negative 3 and babalikan din natin yon magiging 3. So we have a coordinate of 1, 3. And then next is finding the value of a. By dividing the value of a, we will use 4a. And in this equation, 4a is equal to, yes, 16. Therefore, we have 4a is equal to 16. And then getting the value by dividing both sides by 4. And by cancelling and simplifying 16 divided by 4, we could get a is equal to 4. As we have the value of a, we will continue in finding the focus. And the formula for it is h, k plus a. Alam natin ang value ng h natin is 1 and ang value ng k and a, which is 3 and 4 respectively, makakuha natin ay 1, 7, wherein 1 is the value of h and 7 is 3 plus 4, which is the value of k plus a. And then next is the directrix, which is y is equal to k minus a, when our k is equal to 3 and our a is equal to 4. So 3 minus 4 will give us negative 1, or y is equal to negative 1. And last is our axis of symmetry, which is x is equal to h, wherein our h is equal to 1. Therefore, we have x is equal to 1. So we have to graph it, and looking at this graph, we have our name of the equation and name of each equation by its property. This should be needed when identifying the different properties of the parabola. After to the example number 1, we will proceed to example number 2. Find the vertex, focus, directrix, and the axis of symmetry given the equation of the parabola y squared plus 24x minus 4y minus 92 is equal to 0. In this time, ang given example is naka-general form. So we will going to make it as standard form. The first thing we do is to itatranspose natin yung 24x and negative 92 to the other side. And by transposing 24x to the kabila, is magiging negative 24x siya. And then yung negative 92 din, kapag nilipat sa kabila, we'll get positive 92. And we will get y squared minus 4y is equal to negative 24x plus 92. And by completing the square, we will get the value of b in the y squared minus 4y, which is 4 And by dividing it by 2, we could get 2. And by squaring it, 2 square is equal to 4. And the value of 4 will be added to the both sides of the equation. So we could get y squared minus 4y plus 4 is equal to negative 24x plus 92 plus 4. And then, by simplifying the equation, y squared minus 4y plus 4 is a perfect square. So we could get y minus 2 quantity square is equal to negative 24x as still the same plus 96, which is 92 plus 4. And by this, we're going to get the factor of the equation of the right side. And the factor of it is negative 24. And by dividing it, negative 24x divided by negative 24 will give us x. And 96 divided by negative 24 will give us negative 4. And we have the equation y minus 2 quantity square is equal to negative 24 multiplied by x minus 4. And this is the standard form of the equation of the parabola. And now we know the standard form of the parabola, we can now know the different properties of it. Una is yung opening ng graph. Titingnan natin yung part na may square, and in this equation, ang part na yun is yung may y. And then after that, titingnan naman natin yung value ng 4a if negative siya or positive. In this equation, 4a is negative because negative 24. And now we can conclude that the graph of it is opens to the left or leftward. Next is the vertex. Malalaman natin yung vertex by h, k, wherein yung h is yung katabi ng x, which is negative 4, and then babaliktaran natin yung sign, magiging 4. And then the value of k, which is katabi ng y, and that is negative 2, and then babaliktaran natin yung sign, magiging 2. Then we have the coordinate of the vertex in 4, 2. And then we will now solve for the value of a. And to do that, we will know the value of 4a first. And we have the equation 24 is the 4a, but we will not include the negative. And then we will have 4a is equal to 24. And by dividing both sides by 4, we can get 4a over 4 is equal to 24 over 4. And by cancelling 4 to the equation to the left, we will get a, and 24 divided by 4, we will get 6. And by that, we have the value of a, which is a is equal to 6. And by that, we can now proceed to focus, which is h minus a, k. As we all know the value of h, which is 4, and the value of a, which is 6. So 4 minus 6 is equal to negative 2. And the value of k is 2, so we have negative 2, 2 as the focus coordinate. After that is the directrix, which is x is equal to h plus a. Our h is 4 plus the value of a, which is 6. 4 plus 6 is equal to 10. Then we have the equation of the directrix, which is x is equal to 10. After that, we will do the last property, which is axis of symmetry. Axis of symmetry is y equals k. Our k is 2. Therefore, y is equal to 2 is the equation of the axis of symmetry. After knowing all the properties, we can now graph the parabola. Here is its graph, and then naming it by its equation, and then put the equation of each property, the directrix, which is x is equal to 10, and the axis of symmetry, which is x is equal to 2. And then next, and that's all. Thank you for listening. I hope you learned something. And for more clearer and more explanation, you can visit the following YouTube channels. First is Sir Isaiah James Malling. Second is the channel Don't Memorize and Number Bender. And last, Sir Brian McLugan. I hope you learned something. Thank you for listening.